Hello and welcome to the Cinematic Attic YouTube channel. I'm Mike. How are you? This is the channel where we love all movies of all genres in all formats of physical media. So if that's okay with you, welcome. Okay, so this video is coming to you a little later than I'd hoped. I wanted to do my 10 favorite first-time watches of 2025 and get that out to you as soon as possible after the end of 2025. But here we are in the latter part of January, but oh well. That segment will be later on in the video. In the meantime, of course, I'm going to show you everything I picked up since the last video, and that will include a pre-recorded video from December where I'm actually doing an unboxing of a rather large order from Hamilton Books and my Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale package. But to start out, we'll start with what I got from Severin, and that does not include the Black Friday order from Severin because that still has not arrived, still has not even shipped. I give them a lot of leeway, I give them a lot of patience because I love what Severin does and I understand they're not a huge operation. It is just very frustrating. To me, it just seems business 101 that if you're going to have a big sale every year that you know you're going to have a lot of orders to get out, you got to do something to get those out sooner. I don't know. But, hey, I'm not one to sit and complain. I'm just going to enjoy what I've gotten. So, what I did get, two things I had pre-ordered from Severin before the sale. This one I was very, very eager to get. A box set Exorcismo, Defying a Dictator and Raising Hell in Post-Franco Spain. So this is a box set of 19 films from Spain in the post-Franco era, which is late 70s, early 80s type era. Now that's exciting enough, but there are two films on here that guaranteed that I would buy this. One of them is a film called Belle from Hell, which I have had for years on a Mill Creek 50 movie box set in a terrible full screen print, probably edited, who knows. And I've seen it, and of course, I didn't think I'd ever get a better version of that film, but hey, Severin came through on that regard, and now I have a great Blu-ray version. The other film that caused me to buy this set was Creation of the Damned, which is a film that I really never thought I would see on any kind of good release. I have that film on a big box VHS under the title Refuge of Fear. And I've had that for a long time. Never thought that it would, reappear. But Severin has done it. And I give them total credit for that. So yeah, great box set that I will dig into eventually. Those are the only two films on there that I have actually seen. So that'll be fun. Next up from Severin, also got the third volume of the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee, 7-disc set. Looks like 2, 4, 6 films, including a documentary about Christopher Lee. I have the other two, so of course I had to get the third one. And let's see. Get Beat Girl, The Hands of Orlok, Virgin Nuremberg. Actually in 4K, was not expecting that. I'm sure I read that when I ordered it, but totally forgot. Arabian Adventure, A Feast at Midnight, and documentary The Life and Deaths of Christopher Lee. So, and of course you get a book. So, another Christopher Lee set of mostly, I'd say, more obscure films. They're digging deep to give us these box sets, so that's cool. All right, next up, um, I have a few things I picked up that are either imported or not official releases. This is one that when I was going through and upgrading all of my full screen DVDs, I somehow missed. And it's from another country, perhaps Spain, but a Blu-ray of Rotor, a science fiction movie that I've seen, and somehow missed that there was a widescreen Blu-ray available elsewhere in the world, but I fixed that, so got that. Then, this is also upgrading a full screen DVD, so another one I missed somehow. Don the Dragon Wilson and Ring of Fire. This Blu-ray is, well, I'm not sure what country it's from, perhaps Germany. Actually, I did order these from Germany, so I'm going to say it's a German release. So I got Ring of Fire to upgrade a full screen DVD. I'm actually keeping that DVD because it has a couple things on it that aren't on here. But yeah, so got Ring of Fire. And I already got Ring of Fire 3, so I figured I might as well just go ahead and get Ring of Fire 2. And I've read up on these films, and this one, from the review I read, seems to be crazy entertaining. We'll see. I haven't seen it yet, but Ring of Fire 2 with Don the Dragon Wilson. And then one that is definitely not an official release. This was a Netflix film from a couple years ago, Leave the World Behind. This is, of course, a very nicely made on-demand by somebody Blu-ray. Even has special features, things that they probably found on Netflix or YouTube about the film, and they added them here, and it all looks very nice. More on this later. From Scorpion, I think there was a bigger, better release of this just recently, but I didn't want to pay the bigger, better price. So I got the Phantom of the Opera. This is the Dario Argento Phantom of the Opera on Blu-ray. And I wanted to get this to specifically upgrade this VHS without paying for the bigger, better edition. So got that Blu-ray from Scorpion. This one I got because this is one of those films you just need in your collection. Plain and simple. I've seen it, of course, and from Arrow, that is Ms. 45. I got their release of that. Abel Ferrara film, Ms. 45, with, of course, Blu-ray poster and booklet. Arrow doing good stuff that they always do. But just a film I needed to have in the collection. One of the quintessential revenge movies. Then, this is coming from the BFI. This was imported from England. A film that I had heard about on a podcast, I believe it was Pure Cinema, which I know I've mentioned on here a couple times, my favorite podcast. Another horror film with Edward Woodward, that's not The Wicker Man, The Appointment. This was talked about as a very good film, and I have yet to watch it, but it's on my short list. Yeah, so this is a 1981 UK film with, as I said, Edward Woodward, which is a fun name to say, Edward Woodward. The Equalizer from television. But, yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking that out, The Appointment. Couple from TerraVision. I got their secret title, which everyone knows now is Dark Harvest. Which, in retrospect, if I had known it was Dark Harvest, I wouldn't have ordered it because I already have this on DVD, and I'm fine with that. But it does have a couple special features that are exclusive, and oh well, whatever. So I got Dark Harvest. I shot on video Scarecrow movie, which I've seen, and it's fun. Also from TerraVision, very excited about this Old City Lights title, Death by Dialogue. This is a film that I have, like Bell from Hell, on a Mill Creek 50 movie box set in full screen, and TerraVision saving the day, giving us this Blu-ray in widescreen. So, Death by Dialogue. Next, this is one that I've heard people talk about a lot, and they talk about it very positively, and I've wanted to see it, so I finally just bought it. From Synapse, Massacre at Central High. This is a steelbook, which, like many people say, I don't really care about steelbooks one way or the other, but I don't care if it's on a steelbook. I'll buy it, whatever. But I don't seek them out. But I did want to see this movie from Synapse, so pick that up. Couple from Olive. Still digging through the old Olive films, finding things I need. On Blu-ray, Stephen King's Sometimes They Come Back, which I needed to upgrade VHS. I still need to upgrade the other two films, the two sequels to this, but I started with the original movie, which I saw way back when it came out. So, on video, of course, not in a theater. Yeah, got that, and then also on DVD, I got this 1954 film Young at Heart with Doris Day and Frank Sinatra, merely to upgrade VHS. Next up, we have a couple VHS. Yes, as I've said before, I'm trying to upgrade all my VHS, but if a film only exists on VHS, I will happily buy it. And that is the case for two films that I bought recently. One, you have seen probably from Vinegar Syndrome that they put out the three well-known Angel movies. Angel, Avenging Angel, and Angel 3, whatever it is. But some people still don't know that there was an Angel 4. Now, I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I wanted to complete the collection. I should say I don't know how good it is compared to the others, but I wanted to complete the collection. And the only way to do that I could find was VHS. We have Angel 4 Undercover. So we shall see. Once I finish the other Angel movies, I'll get around to this and see how it is. And then I've had this old VHS in my collection for a long time. It's a cut box under the title L.A. Gangs Rising. And I wanted to get this other film called Cruisin' High. But my record said that I already owned it. And I was like, no, I don't. And then I figured out that I owned it under this title. But I wanted to get a copy that was not a cut box, and I wanted it under the official title, the better known title, and I wanted it with this artwork. So that movie is better known as Cruisin' High, and only available on VHS that I could find. And this looks like a potential movie that could end up in my Warriors Cinematic Universe group of titles, so I wanted to get it and check it out. And still haven't done that, but I will sooner than later. So Cruising High, that's an old Lightning video. And I just love looking at the old stickers to see where it came from. This one was from a video store in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. Next up, from Code Red, I wanted to get a copy of this slasher film, kind of a supernatural slasher film from around 1990 or so. Happy Hell Night. I just wanted to get that in the collection. From Criterion, got a few things. Wong Kar-wai, In the Mood for Love. Watched this recently and wanted to get it into the collection. And more on this later. I also got on DVD Brief Encounter, the classic David Lean film. I got it to upgrade this VHS primarily, but it's one that I wanted to have in the collection as well. This is a movie that I actually got to see on the big screen at a local, with a local film group that shows classic films once a month. So I got to see it for the first time. This was years ago, but on the big screen, so that was great. But Brief Encounter from 1945. And then one that I just needed to have in my collection because I love this film, and I didn't own it. But of course I'd seen it. Peter Weir's Picnic at Hanging Rock. Just needed to get this into the collection. More on this later. All right, from Kino. Kino Cult, we got the latest Dan Curtis collection, Gothic Tales. As I said before, any of these Dan Curtis collections of films that I don't already have, buying in no doubt whatsoever. This one has the picture of Dorian Gray and The Turn of the Screw, his television productions of those. And I'm a big fan of the story, the book, Turn of the Screw. So I'm always interested in seeing a new filmed version of it. It's just a story that I really love. I love the ambiguity of it. I love the atmosphere of it, and it was definitely one that I'd studied and probably wrote a paper about in college. But yeah, so pick that up. Next, from Scream Factory, I got their latest 4K of Rabid from David Cronenberg, a film that I've seen but never owned, so I wanted to own it, and so I got it. So Rabid. Next, from Second Sight, this is a film that I still haven't even watched, but this edition looked so wonderful that I wanted to buy it so that I could watch it from this set, and that is Sean Baker's Florida Project. Love that artwork. Big old edition for that film, which again I still need to watch, but yeah, it has 3 discs. Your lobby cards, postcards, whatever they call them, and a hardbound book all about the film. That's wild. So yeah, I wanted to get this edition, and The only other Second Sight release that I have is Blair Witch Project, so this is my second Second Sight title. So pick that up. And the final thing to spotlight here at the beginning. One of my all-time favorite films. It's in the pantheon of my favorite films. Recently came out from Kino Lorber. I got the Blu-ray, and of course the Kino edition had a little bit of a mistake with a repeated scene, and so I went ahead and got the transmission edition of Night of the Juggler, which is 4K, and also has the old VHS artwork that I was wishing was included on the other one. Even though I love this artwork, I get all three of the artworks that I associate with this film. But yeah, 4K of Night of the Juggler, and that repeated scene has been corrected, so that's great. Also comes with some cards and a booklet. So, and I believe there's some more special features on here than on the other one. So definitely worth getting, even if you have the Kino, because, well, if for no other reason than the scene is fixed that was messed up. But oh, also a poster. So good stuff. Transmission, a sub-label of Radiance, but this is definitely worth it. This Night of the Juggler 4K. Alright, so next up you'll see the unboxing video and then everything else I picked up. Okay, so I've decided to do this part of the video as an unboxing because, well, I just got these boxes. There's 3 boxes here. One is Vinegar Syndrome, 2 from Hamilton Books. And yeah, I don't do too many unboxings, but this is another way to show what I've picked up. So let's take a look at what I got from Vinegar Syndrome. This is from the Black Friday sale plus this month, partner label month, as of this recording anyway. Probably won't see this until January. So let's see, from Film Movement, partner label, got the Dam Busters. And I picked this up specifically to upgrade a VHS. From VHS Hit Fest, I got Project Omicron. Looked interesting. Has a bunch of bonus shorts. I did get the what is this, Reviver? Yeah, anyway, the secret title. I have, of course, found out what this is, and I'm perfectly happy with that. From Saturn's Core, I got Bone Sickness. From Cinematograph, I got New Rose Hotel to a VHS. Another VHS Hitfest title, Lost Prophet. The VSA of Blue City, which I got to upgrade this VHS. I did get the one new item from the Melusine site. Seemed to be a big deal, so I picked up Behind the Green Door. And I also got the second volume of the Seiyasu Sato films. This is an older one, picked up as part of the sale. Hollywood Horror House. Another Saturn's core with hardcore Poisoned Eyes. From Agfa, the Crazy Kids Video Party. This sounds like a lot of fun. Bunch of shorts and shorter films. I guess crazy films made for kids. Another older title I picked up on the sale, Blue Vengeance. Just picking through some old VS stuff that I never grabbed. Like this one too, Star Time. And Rabid Grannies. Picked up Witch Story. Evil Judgment. And from ETR, American Expendables, the films of North American Pictures. So a documentary here, I think, about North American Pictures. And that's everything that I got from VS. I wasn't trying to break records with this year's sale haul. I knew I had other sales and other things to spend money on. So yeah, including Hamilton Books. So every once in a while I go to Hamilton Books website and I just kind of comb through, see what's new, see what I want. And this time I wanted to really kind of clean house, so to speak, in terms of what I wanted from their site. And I targeted a lot of the cheap stuff. I did get a few things that were, I did get some Mondo Macabros, I know, that were like $12. And I did get another set that I think was like $24 or $5. But most everything else was under $5. But I got 100 items. So that's why they had to ship it in 2 big boxes. And I don't remember most of what I ordered, so this is part of the fun. Me being surprised and happy on camera by what I pull out of here. So first, the Kino Lorber title, The Raging Moon, Malcolm McDowell, Nanette Newman. I pretty much grabbed any Kino Lorber title. This is a Scream Factory DVD of Dark Spell. I got a bunch of cheap science fiction movies, horror movies, anything that just looked remotely interesting, like Meteor. From SRS, Hell on the Shelf. Jeez. Oh yeah. Should watch that one around this time of year, the holidays, as I'm recording this, of course. Apex Predators. That's from Wild Eye. We have Blood Bite. Another Wild Eye. Jekyll and Hyde. Another Kino Lorber. Old Boyfriends. This has Talia Shire, John Belushi, Keith Carradine. Alien Battlefield Earth. The Quake. And I have seen this one. I think it's part of that series of films with The Wave. Might be another one. This is from Shout. Dinosaur World. Okay. From Shout. Dolph Lundgren and Jill Rips, also known as Jill the Ripper, and I got it to upgrade this VHS. From Kino Lorber, The Slasher, 1953. Another Kino Lorber, Connecting Rooms. It's Betty Davis, Michael Redgrave, 1970. Let's see. The Unthinkable. Final Voyage. I mean, some of their titles were like $1.95. So if you're on the fence, you just buy it. At least I do. I don't know. From SRS, I forget what line this is. Anyway, it has the familiar or the similar trade dress. I have a bunch of these. This is Mother. We have, oh, Walmart exclusive. I guess not anymore. Alien Shark. Free bonus movie of Mysterious Island. It says, okay. Alien Shark. All right. More Kino Lorber. The Criminal. Stanley Baker. 1960. From Scorpion, we have the remake of Brief Encounter with Richard Burton and Sophia Loren. From Olive, The Outsider, 1980. Another SRS with that trade dress. Midnight 2. From SRS, Necrologies. I think. Not sure if this is an anthology film or not, but regardless. Another Scorpion here with Sunny Side, featuring Joey Travolta. Another Scorpion, movie called The Wild Eye, 1968. Andromeda. Oh, a Shudder original, Bleed With Me, Ah, here we go. They had this pretty cheap. The Twilight Zone series by Jordan Peele. From Shout Factory. Black Belt. Don the Dragon Wilson. Monster Python. Amityville Cult. These things are so cheap, I could not resist, and, well, I love this crap anyway, so. Python Island. And of course, hey, you got a lot of these boutique labels. A lot of good stuff in there too. Some B Western goodness with Serial, starring Buck Jones, Gordon of Ghost City. Another Kino Lorber. No Orchids for Miss Blandish. It's British noir, it says at the top. From the Asylum, we have Planet Dune with Sean Young. From Scorpion, we have Bad Manners. From SRS, God Rhaegar versus King Oga. Here's one of my Mondo Macabros from 1974 from Jose Ramon Larraz. Symptoms. From SRS, Hell's Bells. I love this title. Another from SRS, House Squatch. Yeah. Another Asylum with Megalodon Rising. Tom Sizemore. Another Asylum, Alien Conquest. SRS, we have a triple feature called Dawn of the Animals, but it has 3 films on there. From Wild Eye, we have Warzone. And folks, I just stopped at 100 because I felt that was enough. I could have kept going, honestly. Another Mondo Macabro, The Inheritors. And I got this one to upgrade a VHS. Another Mondo Macabro, Human Animals. 1983 from Spain. Oh, wow. Justice Society, World War II, animated movie. I believe I've seen this one. Also with short film of Commandy, the Last Boy on Earth. Love that character. From Shout Factory, a double feature of Escape to Athena and March or Die, which I got to upgrade at least one of those movies. Another SRS, Monster Seafood Wars. Another Olive Western with James Arness, Gun the Man Down, 1956. Of course, any Westerns I would grab. Another SRS, Streets of Darkness. Oh yeah. The made-for-TV miniseries starring Jon Voight. Noah's Ark. Which I got to upgrade a VHS. But if you've never seen this, it is one of the most unbelievable and strange adaptations, if you want to call it that. There's a lot of things in this movie that you won't find in the source material. And I don't know what it is. I mean, between this and Darren Aronofsky, why the story of Noah has to go so off the rails into strangeness every time it's made into a movie. But let me just say that in this movie anyway, Noah out on the ark and in between bouts of them losing their minds, for real, people show up on rafts, like a peddler, and Lot, from another biblical story, he keeps showing up in the movie. I don't even know if it's the right era for that, but he's there. Yeah, it's weird. Had to have it. From Kino, we have Death in the Garden, a Buñuel film. From Xenon Pictures, A Woman Called Moses. Wow, this is 3 hours and 10 minutes. Perhaps, yes, it was a mini-series, I guess, with Cicely Tyson. Another Olive with Blanche. Kindred. $21.49, The Aftermath. From Artsploitation Films, Christmas Blood. Another one to watch right now. Oh, another Mondo Macabro. Hotel Fear, 1976. From, well, studio, I guess, Richard Pryor and Some Kind of Hero, which I got to upgrade VHS. Elevator. Monsters of War. This is a newer film. What is this called? LA Ambulance? Another SRS with Daddy. And from Scream Factory, yeah, Don't Knock Twice. And that's the first box, which I think was the bigger box. So let's go to box number 2. All right. From Shout Factory, my Salinger year, Sigourney Weaver and Margaret Qualley. SRS, we have Hal from Beyond the Fog. I got this Will Rogers collection volume 2 because I have volume 1. This has 4 films. Too Busy to Work, Mr. Skitch, David Harum, and Ambassador Bill. From SRS, love this title, Homicycle. There's another Shudder, Party Hard, Die Young. Says that's a glow-in-the-dark cover. Cool. Oh, from Troma, just to get this on disc, Sizzle Beach USA, an early Kevin Costner film, upgrading a VHS. The Legend of the Stardust Brothers from SRS. From Mill Creek, we have Disorganized Crime on Blu-ray, upgrading VHS. And there is a slight chance that once I catalog all these, I'll realize that maybe I upgraded something else, and I'll show that later. Not a big deal. Bull Shark. Oh, let's follow that with Ouija Shark from Wild Eye. And Curse of the Kraken. Another SRS with Zillafoot. House Squatchin' Zillafoot. Another SRS with American Driller Killer. Oh, okay. Sorority House. From Scorpion, Hard Country. It's a 1981 film. I see Kim Basinger, Daryl Hannah, Michael Parks, hey. Another Scorpion here. Double feature of The Dreaming and Initiation. I think I have Dreaming already, but for the price, I got it for the other movie. I Am Mortal. Sean Gunn is in that. From Olive, from 1915. That's cool. Cecil B. DeMille, The Captive. From Kino Lorber, we have Acceptable Risks, 1986. Brian Dennehy. Another shark movie from SRS. One I've definitely heard of. And nobody I've heard of. House Shark. Another SRS here. We have, I guess, a double feature of Morbid and Screwdriver. Pterodactyl. Oh, another Amityville. From Wild Eye, Amityville Island. And there's a shark. From Kino Lorber, The Mindbenders, 1963. Back to Scorpion for The Glass House. From Shout to the Blackout, Invasion Earth. C. Thomas Howell, Bloodlust. A movie that I saw and enjoyed. Happy to see this for a nice price. Europa Report. From SRS, The House on Cuckoo Lane. From Scream Factory, we have Sawbones, which upgrades a VHS. Another Shudder. Yeah, that one. I'm not going to try to say it. I would sound ridiculous. Oh wow. Says from American Arcana. Something Weird double feature of The Ravager and The Bushwhacker. Looked strange. From Kino Lorber. I think this was a TV movie. Quarantine. From Kino, 3 Seconds Before Explosion. And the last one in the box. From Shout Factory. A movie trilogy on Blu-ray. The Walking Tall trilogy. The first, second, and third films, and that will upgrade the first one for me on VHS. And this was the most expensive item. But anyway, that's it. That's all 100 items that I picked up from Hamilton Books. It's a great place to find some boutique labels and some cheap DVDs and Blu-rays. So check them out if you're inclined. Anyway, here's everything else I picked up from Goodwill, including one VHS upgrade. And this is the director's cut. I have the regular version already. And then from eBay, this collection of industrial films. And here's a one for deletion that I missed. From eBay, to upgrade VHS. From Goodwill, including one VHS upgrade. Another eBay purchase to upgrade a VHS. From Wonderbook and Video, got some DVDs, including VHS upgrades. This one is an oscilloscope title. Then from eBay, got some more titles to upgrade VHS. A small haul from Dollar General. Haven't even opened these yet. Strangely, at the Dollar General, a Something Weird DVD. I already have the movie, but not this edition and not these special features. From eBay, got some discs to upgrade VHS. And I got one by accident that I already had on Blu-ray, but there are a couple extra special features, so I'll keep it. From eBay, got this DVD to upgrade this VHS. I did not want to pay for the expensive Vinegar Syndrome edition. I just wanted to upgrade my VHS, so there we go. Went to Second & Charles. Kind of hit the Hallmark motherlode. Got all of these. I did get a couple VHS upgrades. And then a couple horror and a couple western and a Garbo doc. From Savers, some DVDs and a couple of VHS that apparently have no DVD or Blu-ray or anything. So looks like they came from the same video store. So nice find. From a thrift store, some DVDs, including 2 VHS upgrades. And 1 Blu-ray over there. From a Goodwill. From Second & Charles, some DVDs, including 3 VHS upgrades. And then from eBay, got this DVD to upgrade this VHS. From a Goodwill, some DVDs, including 2 VHS upgrades. And from Wonderbook and Video, some VHS upgrades. This one, a Warner Archive. Also got this Warner Archive. Okay, this time around for the Pantheon, because the segment that's next about my 10 favorite first time watches also are 10 movies that then get added to the Pantheon. This little Pantheon segment is sort of connected to that. I have three things to share with you. One, because I just picked it up and it is in the Pantheon. The other two are related to the 10 favorite first time watches. So, the one that I just picked up recently that is in the Pantheon is Peter Weir's Picnic at Hanging Rock. This is a film that I first saw a few years ago, way beyond the time I should have seen it. Because this film's fantastic. And it's one of those films that stick with you and just linger in your mind. And the longer that happens, the more you end up loving it. And that happened for me to the point where I had to go ahead and get this into the collection on this Criterion Blu-ray. This film is from 1975, and it features a group of girls from a school that go to Hanging Rock for a little outing, and some of them disappear, and the whole thing is very odd and creepy and atmospheric, and well worth your time watching. So if you haven't ever seen this, you probably have if you're watching this, but if you haven't seen this, check it out. Picnic at Hanging Rock. Now the other two titles are related to 10 favorite first time watches. The first one is one that was considered for last year, but was ultimately like number 11. But I have since added it to the Pantheon because over time it's another one that has cemented itself in my mind as a movie that I really, really love. And I was able to finally get a copy on physical media, even though it's not official, and that is the one that I showed earlier, Leave the World Behind. This is a Sam Esmail film, and it's on Netflix. Right now, that's the only place it exists, unless you get, something like this, which I thought was going to be from Sloppy Seconds, but I ordered it through another seller, and it ended up being, I don't know who made this, but whoever it was did a good job. Blu-ray of this film. This is, of course, a sort of post-apocalyptic film where something happens, and there's a family, a couple families actually, who are trying to figure out what happened to the world. The whole thing is creepy. As you see things that go wrong, it all the clues start adding up, but they don't completely explain what happened, and I like that. But you see this average couple trying to figure out how to exist, as well as try to figure out what happened. Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke, Mahala. Forgive me if that's mispronounced. But just love this film. And for those of you who, like me, are obsessed with physical media, the ending of the film is glorious. So anyway, Leave the World Behind. This was like the number 11 choice that got cut from the list last year, but has made its way onto my Pantheon, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. The next one, the third one that I want to show here, is one that got cut off this year's list. So this was on my top 10 favorite watches list for a while, but it got bumped off the list by another film. But it still ended up in the Pantheon because I love this movie. And that is a little film called The Nice Guys. If you know, you know. This is this is fun. This is a buddy movie. This really doesn't sell it. This makes it seem just another goofy comedy. But it is super clever. It is One of those films that will lead you to think that they're going to do one thing and then they do another. It's wonderfully clever that way. Um, it takes all of your predictions of what's going to happen, your expectations of what's going to happen, and it just loves to mess with that. On top of that, these two characters, played by Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, are just funny, and you like both of them. This is directed by Shane Black, and I heard this recommended by so many people as being a great, funny film. Um, and so that pushed me to watch it. I think I was doing another A to Z watch. I do every year I do at least one A to Z film watching project where I'll watch a film that starts with letter A, then one that starts with letter B, and so on. And I think I picked this for the letter N, and I do not regret it. Um, if this looks at all like it could be something you might like, I would definitely recommend giving it a try if you haven't. Um, I don't watch a lot of modern comedies. I'm too busy watching other things, and comedy is one of those genres that's while I like it and all, it's not high on my list. I'm usually watching horror, sci-fi, action, something like that. So comedies usually get bumped. Um, but this is one that you should not bump. So nice guys. So there's 3 films in the Pantheon. Here are 10 more, but these are my 10 favorite first-time watches of 2025. Okay, so it's time for the 10 favorite first time watches of 2025. 10 films that will be added to the Pantheon. This is one of my favorite segments to do every year. As I watch movies through the year, I make a list of my film discoveries, and then at the end of the year, I whittle that down to my 10 favorite, 10 that are worthy of being added to the Pantheon. And this is what I've come up with for 2025. In no particular order. I showed this earlier. We have In the Mood for Love, directed by Wong Kar-wai, from the year 2000. This stars Tony Leung, Maggie Cheung, and this is one that I've, of course, heard many things about, many good things about. And I've watched it, I believe, on the Criterion Channel, and it's one that I really liked when I first watched it, but it's one of those that just hangs with you for like a week, and then you're like, you know what? I really love that movie. And then you just want to go live inside of it for a while again. But this movie, obviously, about 2 characters who fall in love, but they're both married. So this relationship, it can't be a relationship, and that's part of the tension. But it's just a beautifully made film. It's slightly, I don't want to say abstract, but there are moments when that you kind of don't figure out um, until maybe a second viewing. It's just a very rewarding picture, especially for a rewatch. And so, in buying or in watching this film, I saw that there was a movie that had come before this that introduced her character, um, and and then just had his character appear at the end. I'm forgetting the name of that now. But I had to go watch that just to kind of see what happened before this movie. Even though I've read that the director said that they're kind of like uh, sequels that don't have to be literal sequels, because there is a movie after this called uh, 2046, which is a room number, not a year. So there's like 3 films here, but he said that they don't have to necessarily be direct sequels, but more like in spirit sequels. So you can take it however you want it. Um, I'm going to take it more literally because it's more fun that way. But I watched the movie before this. I still haven't seen 2046. That's on my watch list. But this movie, this centerpiece, is generally considered the best one, and I consider it the best one, even though I haven't seen the third one yet, because it's so good. So anyway, if you haven't checked this out, In the Mood for Love, Wong Kar-wai. Next up, going in a totally different direction, a film from recent years that I finally checked out in 2025. Um, a little horror film called Megan. Here with the glow in the dark cover that was sold at Walmart. Um, this film I enjoy because it feels very much like a 1980s horror film, sort of like a riff on Child's Play or something, but it's just the feel, the atmosphere of what this movie is. It feels a little bit like a throwback without being a throwback. I mean, obviously, it's dealing with current uh, horror issues involving AI and what it can do, especially if you put it in the body of a child's doll friend. um, and obviously, that makes this character very creepy. But it just felt the whole time watching it like I was watching something from an era that I love and that I miss, and that I'm still trying to find films that I haven't seen from that era to enjoy. Um, this is just a really good time. Um, and I haven't seen the sequel yet. I know I've heard it goes in a different direction, and that's fine. But this one, I loved enough that it was one of the early films in the year that I said, "Yep, that's going to be in my top 10." So Megan. Uh, Next up, a film from 2000, a little horror film starring Brittany Murphy called Cherry Falls. Here we have the Scream Factory Blu-ray. This is a film that I heard about even back when it came out. I had a friend who would talk about this movie, and it only took me 25 years to finally see it. um, this movie takes place in the town of Cherry Falls, hence the title. But the title kind of has a double meaning, and so I don't want to give it away. But the killer in this movie is killing people with a certain trait, um, which leads to an insane ending scene, which, from what I saw in the special features, was going to be a lot more insane if the director had had his way, and that being Jeffrey Wright. Um, but what I love about this film is that there are so many spaces in this film that are just filled with things that are bizarre. Uh, Hints at relationships, at personality traits, at um, I don't know, a kind of general town behavior that all just seems a little off. So you're never quite sure who's going to do what or say what. It kind of exists in a just ever so slightly odd reality, and I appreciate that. Also, there were a couple laugh out loud funny moments, including one where uh, this one particular character gets killed after he says something that was definitely appropriate to his manner of death. But this was just a real treat. This one was just it's one of those movies that you put on and you just kind of become um, part of the strange atmosphere of it, and I appreciate that. So Cherry Falls 2000, fun movie. Next up, we have a sequel, um, and this I believe debuted on cable. When a Stranger Calls Back, another Scream Factory disc. This movie, starring Carol Kane and Charles Durning, who are returning from the original film. This movie is set 5 years after her terrifying babysitting ordeal, that being Carol Kane. Um, there seems to have been another girl who was terrorized by someone, and in the same way that she was, where someone calls her that kind of urban legend of the caller, have you checked the children kind of thing. Um, and whereas in the original movie that opening sequence was probably the best part of the movie, in this movie that opening sequence is a fantastic part of the movie. I don't want to necessarily say it was the best, but it certainly could have um, rivaled that original with a different girl being the one babysitting. And so it all comes back around to her helping the new girl that was terrorized by a killer, a stranger who calls back. And the whole thing is so creepy, and it has so many surprises. There were a couple moments in this movie where I gasped out loud. This movie, I think, is better than the original. I will go on record saying this is better than the original. Um, and it's a shame that it is not as well known as the original. Uh, and it's a shame that it debuted on cable, um, and that it wasn't a theatrical thing. This is a great movie. It reunites the original writer, director Fred Walton to continue the story, and he was planning to do a third movie that never happened. I kind of wish it had, but there was a reveal at the end of this movie of the killer that it's one of the moments where I gasped. It's great. This movie is just fantastic little thriller. If you haven't seen this, if you thought, oh, it's just a sequel, don't miss it. This is excellent. When a Stranger Calls Back. Directed by Fred Walton, like I said, which actually leads me to my next pick, because Fred Walton actually has two movies on this list. In 1989, he did a little made-for-TV movie that I watched in 2025 and also loved. A little movie called Trapped. I showed in the last video me picking this up based on a recommendation from the Pure Cinema podcast. Only available on VHS. This movie stars Kathleen Quinlan, Bruce Abbott, Katie Boyer. She and another guy are trapped in this high-rise building that's still being finished at night with a killer. And as I said before, that was reason enough for me to get this. But in watching it, it is a fabulous thriller. And like other movies on this list, it also kind of exists in a very strange atmospheric world. Besides it being a little claustrophobic because it's inside of one building the whole time, it also just kind of creates this other world inside there. And the characters interact and move about, and it feels a little dreamlike. And I really, really like that. So trapped because, well, they're trapped in this building overnight. And will they be killed, or will they get the killer? I guess you'll have to check this out. And I say that knowing that it's very difficult to see this movie. It's only on this VHS. It's not on YouTube. It's not anywhere. and this VHS is not particularly cheap. So apologies for that, but if you're interested in it, do seek it out. This was just a great time, great thriller. Another one by Fred Walton, Trapped. Shifting gears a little bit to more present day. Last year, I had a Marvel movie on my top 10. That was Deadpool and Wolverine. This year, I have another. I am a Marvel guy, and I think their films are absolutely cinema and absolutely great. Some are greater than others, sure. But I will go on record as saying none of them have been bad. Regardless. The one that came out in 2025 that I absolutely loved. Fantastic Four First Steps. I have the 4K here. I'm a lifelong Marvel fan. I've mentioned this. And I've been reading the Fantastic Four my whole life. And this is the first movie that actually makes me feel like I'm watching the Fantastic Four. It had a sense of fun. It had a sense of adventure. It obviously had the design elements that were just amazing. You know, the kind of retro futuristic design elements that are throughout this whole film. But the story was perfectly great. The characters were great. This was such a treat. I mean, I actually saw this in the theater twice, which to some people may not be a big deal, but I have never done that, ever. Now, granted, the second time was, because I was going with other people. I went the first time, I think myself. So, I had a reason to go, but I was looking forward to it, and I did it. And watching it a second time, I was not in the least bored. I was thrilled just as much as the first time, even though I knew what was going to happen. Galactus is in here. The Silver Surfer, albeit, a different one than we're familiar with. But it is a different reality in the multiverse. But these characters will be coming to the regular Marvel reality soon. And yeah, this was just a great superhero adventure movie. And if you don't think so, I don't even know what to say to you. So anyway, Fantastic Four First Steps, one of my favorite watches of the year. No apologies to all of you Marvel haters who are just annoying people. But let's shift gears entirely and go back to the silent film era for our next one. From 1930, at least according to this box. I've seen, I think, 1929 on something else. But 1930, we have a film called Mother Hummingbird. And it is French. Directed by Julien Duvivier, which I have on this set of several of his films. The only way to get this on physical media. This is a Flickr Alley release, and I'm looking forward to checking out the other films, but I bought this specifically for Mother Hummingbird, which I watched on the Criterion Channel just days before it disappeared from the Criterion Channel. And to my knowledge, it's not streaming anywhere else, but that's just an example of an excellent, amazing film that will come and go on streaming, and the only way to see it, right here. This is a film about a woman who falls in love with a man who, ultimately she shouldn't have, because he does not stick around. And let's see, where is this? Here we go. Also under the original title there, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, but Mother Hummingbird. Um, so all I have to show you is this little picture. uh, the filmmaking was had some really nice inventive things for 1930 or 29. It was probably made in 29. Who knows? Um, and the story is heartbreaking. It was a movie, even though it had a very simple plot, a plot of someone meeting someone, falling in love, and she actually um, leaves her husband to be with this guy and run off to another country, and things don't work out. Um, Even though that plot is very very well worn, I was mesmerized uh, watching what was happening on the screen. The actress, um, and I'm not going to find her name here. The actress who plays the woman, I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Her acting, being silent films, they have to really, really emote, and it was a mesmerizing performance. I sat there through this movie, and it's not a long movie, but it's not a short movie either. I sat there just totally mesmerized by the whole thing, and when it was over, you know, I felt like I had gone through the emotional journey with this woman the whole time, and it just stuck with me for days. It was just a great viewing experience, and therefore became one of my favorite of the year. So, Mother Hummingbird from Julien Duvivier, available on the Cinema of Discovery box set from Flicker Alley, and there we go. Found it in a booklet. There's a picture of the actress, played by Maria Jacobini. Excellent stuff. Check it out if you are willing to take a risk on silent films. Too many people just don't give them a chance, and that's a crime. Okay, shifting gears totally again. I talked about the Angel films earlier, and I bought Angel 4 on VHS. Well, in 2025, I finally watched the original movie, Angel, and it became one of my favorite watches. And these films, they or at least the first one, I haven't watched the rest, but they present themselves as kind of an exploitation kind of thing. But really, once you watch it, you realize it's not. I mean, it has elements, sure, but that's not why it was made. It's basically a story of a girl who um, had something unfortunate happen, and she had to live a life she didn't want to. And there's also a killer, and a killer who's killing people she knows, and she eventually has to take on the killer. So you have that kind of a thriller element. What I really liked about this movie is it had the atmosphere of when it was made, which was the 80s. It had a supporting cast it was fabulous. I mean, the actress herself, Donna Wilkes, did a great job playing Molly. But she had this supporting cast of friends who I just loved. She had this, and they're like L.A. street people. One is a guy who did like a little cowboy act out on the sidewalk, and he would mention all of these old B-Western cowboy references that I got and I appreciated. And I'm like, wow, somebody actually did a little homework on B-Westerns. I love this. You had another friend of hers, supportive friend who I won't give it away, but really fought for her, and that person was a lot of fun. You had her I guess landlady is played by Susan Tyrrell, who's a hoot. And And of course, she has a cop, a police detective, who is trying to help her out. And it's just a great film. I mean, there's a reason it has a cult following. There's a reason it had sequels. It's really better movie than you think it is. A lot of people probably just brush it off as another exploitation movie, but it's a lot better than that. So I would recommend Angel. Next up, we have a horror film, a horror anthology. I love horror anthologies. In 2025, I tried to watch a lot of them. And this was the one that stood out the most for me, the one that ended up on my list. A little horror anthology called Southbound. I remember when this was streaming on Hulu, I almost watched it, but didn't. I'm not sure if it's streaming now or where it might be streaming, but I went to buy it on physical media. The Blu-ray looked a little out of reach and expensive, but this DVD was out there, so that's what I got. That's what I watched. This horror anthology is done in the spirit of The Old Dead of Night. If you've seen that movie, you'll know what I'm saying, and I won't give it away. But I will say that all of the segments in here are connected. They kind of lead and bleed into one another. And you kind of have characters who transition through all of these horror tales. And all of the little horror tales in here are a lot of fun. There's one that didn't quite totally hit with me, but once the movie ended, it tied it together, and I appreciated it more. But some really creepy stuff, some fun actors in this, and there are these creatures who appear in this movie who are some of the creepiest creatures I've seen in a movie, and I totally did not expect that in a anthology movie, for there to be kind of creatures that are involved with the entire plot of the film, the connected parts. This is just a really nice exercise of imagination in a horror anthology. A nice little use of an old anthology trope. Again, not giving it away, but really, really enjoyed this one. Southbound. Check it out. And the last film, the last of my favorite first-time watches of 2025. I actually watched probably in the last few days of 2025, and it had quite the impression. A film you may not have heard of, directed by Henry Dunham, The Standoff at Sparrow Creek. I've started this new method of random viewing where I have my girlfriend go down to my collection. I say go down in my collection because it's in the basement. And I have 25,000 movies, and sometimes it's a little overwhelming as to what to pick to watch. And I love the old experience of going to a video store, not knowing what the movies are, but you have to pick a few in a limited amount of time and just take them and go home and watch them. I love that experience. So I would send my girlfriend into the basement and say, pick 5 movies. Any 5, as long as I haven't seen them. And you'll be able to tell whether I've seen them because there'll be a note inside either saying I've seen it or a red piece of paper, which means I've watched everything on the disc. So pick 5 I haven't seen, and I'll watch them. This was one of her picks. And if she hadn't picked this out for me to watch, who knows if or when I would have gotten around to this. But this ended up being one of my favorite watches. This is about a bunch of, what do you call them? Militia guys. So automatically you don't want to like them. But uh, they hear that there was a militia person who went and shot up a cop's funeral, and they get together to try to figure out who did it because that was not anything they had planned. So one of us had to have done this. Who did this? And so the film is one of those where you have a group of guys in one space for the whole movie, and they're trying to figure out who uh, did this thing because they know that the police and everyone's going to come after them. So they need to figure out, okay, which one of us did this because we shouldn't have done that. Whoever did it shouldn't have done that because we don't want that kind of a problem to come down on us. And they're calling out to other groups. They have this communication network to let them know that they're trying to figure out who did it. And so you're watching this movie and you're not liking any of these guys, but there's one character that seems to stand out as someone who is a little more forthright. And you're starting to wonder, okay, well, how much is he really buying into all this stuff? And he's trying to protect his brother, who's one of the members. And so there's this mystery emerges and on top of who did it. And the end of this movie, you do not see it coming. You do not anticipate or predict the ending of this movie. And while I was loving the movie watching it, that ending solidified this as one of my favorite watches because it was so good. So this, it says on the front, there's a review saying it's nail-biting, captivating thriller. Yeah, it's a brisk 89-minute little thriller that I highly recommend if that sounds at all interesting. This is probably a Blu-ray that I picked up, I don't know, Dollar Tree years ago. I don't even know. But I'm glad that I was able to take the time and watch this because this is good. Check it out. So that's it. Those are the 25, my 10 favorite watches of 2025. And I'm sad it's over. But I'm already watching films for this year, hoping to find my new 10 as things progress, and I'm enjoying that journey. So anyway, here's something else. Okay, so this time around on the bookshelf, I'm spotlighting a series that currently has 2, 4, 6, 7 books in it. They're all by an author by the name of Jacob Gustafson. It is the Awful Awesome series. This is a series of books where he looks at action films, horror films, and sci-fi films that he finds to be awful yet awesome. He has done 3 volumes of action, and so far 2 volumes of sci-fi and horror. And I think the plan is to do another volume for horror, another volume for sci-fi, so that there are 3 of each. Whether he goes beyond that, I don't know. But what I like about these is that they really go through some obscure stuff. Like action movies, we have here 1990s Final Sanction. Things that I may not have even heard of. Final Score. Hired to Kill. I mean, yes, there's some more well-known stuff in here, but largely it's more obscure. I mean, sure, there's Ninja 3: The Domination, but then there's also Private Wars. with Steve Railsback. So, love that. And of course, you have that with the sci-fi and horror as well. For sci-fi, you do get some of the Sci-Fi Channel movies. I mean, most of these are of movies from the 80s and 90s. Some, a lot of direct-to-video stuff. But for the sci-fi, you do have some Sci-Fi Channel stuff, like Mega Python versus Gatoroid. But that's sprinkled in with other stuff, like Digital Man from 1995 or Cyborg Cop. So I really love the picks of films, and there's 100 in each book, and it's 1-page reviews, and so you can just easily just sit down and read a few of these at a time. And what I also love about this is then it makes me want to see these movies, because I love this this obscure kind of stuff. The only thing I've noticed so far with these books is they are printed on demand. The kind of books you get through Amazon, and it has a little printing date, and it's usually a couple days before you received it. So when you get those kind of books, sometimes they're not edited or proofread the best. I can tell he especially in the earlier books, the writing's a little rough. But if you're willing to look past that, especially in the earlier books, the content is well worth reading about and checking out, and the enthusiasm is there, and I love that. So this series, awful awesome. If that sounds fun, check them out. These are available on Amazon. And that'll do it for this episode of the Cinematic Attic, everyone. I hope you enjoyed at least some of it. But until next time, everyone, enjoy your movies.